that's where I'll be. Shoulder me dying, got this truck flying, I'll be there on time. Heading down the highway looking for a rodeo sign. You might think it's crazy chasing this cowboy thing, making a living riding horses, bulls, and dreams.
Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals tonight. Brought to you in part by Kentucky Fire, Maker's Mark, Pinnacle Vodka, Coors, 14 Hands Vineyards, Cooper Tires, Ram Rodeo, Justin Boots, National Cowboy Museum, Wrangler, Montana Silversmiths, Resist All Hats, Pepsi, Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to National Finals tonight. What a good-looking crowd we have up there as well. We are so honored to have you with us here this season. This is our season number 8 for National Finals tonight, and did you enjoy the rodeo tonight? It's getting exciting, isn't it? Coming right down to the wire. We have great guests for you, and we're anxious to get them out here. Let's get our co-hosts out here and get this thing started. You know both of these guys very well. This first gentleman, no doubt about it, best bull rider ever, 8-time world champion. My buddy Donnie Gay is here tonight. Would you welcome Don? Yeah, you!
Are you surprised I was talking?
Yeah. I'll tell you why I was worried, because just before I came out here, he said, geez, I forgot to pee. And I thought, well, not now. Not now. So I thought maybe you were filling up a hat back. All right, you're good. You're ready to go.
My eyeballs are floating, but
I can see that, but that's okay. You're a cowboy up. Let's bring out our next gentleman out here. He also is an 8-time world champion, and he did go to the bathroom already, and I'm thankful. Joe Beaver is here tonight. Would you welcome Joe?
Would you like some water? Maybe a drink or two?
I'm all good.
Welcome, Joe. How are you tonight?
I am lovely, and you, Dan?
I'm ready for this night. It's going to be a great night.
If we take a little longer, Donnie will be a little more impatient, won't he?
Yes. Have you ever done those where you run the rapids and that water's splashing all over those rides and it's just
cold?
Oh,
it kind of hits you.
Man, sloshing, yeah.
We just wondered.
Right there. If you'd like to participate in our show tonight, have any questions for us, we'd love to have you participate. Here is the number that you can text us a question, and here is 702-582-5638. We'll have that up on the screen, and you can take a look at that. We already have questions coming in. Also, we want to tell you, if you want to see these shows, you go to YouTube, just put in National Finals tonight, and the show will come up. Also, a little highlight package I put on the Wrangler Network each and every day. But we're glad to have you here live with us, prizes to give away, and great guests to come out. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it on television tonight, Donnie and Joe were doing it live. They are the absolute best in the business at that, and we put together a, give them a hand, they are. And they ought to. We've been doing this a long time, haven't we, doing television and stuff?
I don't even want to think, but let's start with the bareback ride.
Take it away, Donnie Gay.
Yes, sir.
Round number 8.
Austin Foss has come to town to try to win some money, and this black horse, Black Cat, just jumps and kicks. Now, another performance that I disagreed with the judges. Shocking.
Imagine
but,
that.
you know, Austin makes a great bareback ride. This is a tough pen of horses out tonight, and the bareback riders are sore. I mean, I see them walking down the hall like this, you know, but it looked really good. First place for Austin Foss, and that's not his only one.
Steer wrestling, here we go. It is about time. The rookies came to town. Ty Erickson, Montana boy, big, tall, tough. This is the best go he's got in about 3 rounds. This steer checks up, hits him behind the horns. He's big enough, drives the steer forward, lets him get underneath that nose. Walk down he goes 3-8. But guess what? Here comes Kyle Irwin, the little Alabama rookie. He said today, I caught a cab with him and he was bad about things weren't going good. And I said, look, I'm lucky. I rubbed him on the shoulder a little bit. I said, day money tonight. He's called me 8 times. Won't know where I'm going tomorrow. 3-8. They will split the round. 2 winners.
All right.
In the team rope.
Awfully good.
Woo, this was a huge move. Trevor Brazil cripples his good horse last night. Has to get on his backup horse. And if you notice, he's a little tight in the box. But look, one swing over the chute. Travis Graves, he's been a little tight. Extra swing tonight. They have to win to have a chance for a championship. Look at that. The first legal hop, he's got it down there, and right there, floats it back. It's going to be a race for the gold buckle.
Well, you talk about a race for the gold buckle in the saddle bronc riding, Cord Shear and Heath DeMoss. Check this out. Fire Hostage, 84 points. This horse bucking, jumping, kick. This is why you call it the classic event of pro rodeo. You can't have a horse buck any prettier, have any more timing, and check this Louisiana man out, straightening his legs out, turning his toes out, setting his feet, lifting on the rein. I mean, you know, shades of Marty Wood. What a nice ride. He just went to #1 in the world.
Tie down roping. Trevor's not done yet. They're talking 3, I'm talking 4. Patience prevailed right here. This calf, if you notice, when he ropes, he slows up. He has to stay in the stirrup a long time. Look, wait. But if he gets off early, he jerks the calf down. If you jerk him down, you can't be 6. Turns him around, gets him flanked and strung. Right here is going to take a chance to put a wrap mahui on the calf that wants to strain a little bit. Well, he thinks he's in good shape. Guess what? Shazam says, no, you're not. Matt Shizawa, if he doesn't win the round, stay in the lead in the average, he has no chance for a gold buckle. He puts a wrap mahui on the 8th calf, trying to win a gold buckle. They're after tough, but it's tough to lose.
All right, well, guess what? Everybody's been pulling for Mary. This horse has finally figured out
time.
The ground is going to hold him up, and that big dude is rocking and rolling. And to me, she's had more hell on the last barrel.
She barely got him by that one tonight.
She got him by it, but he didn't break out and leave out, you know, and no matter how fast the horse is, you can't make up.
Run straight.
You've got to make a great run. Congrats to Mary Walker and Jordan Spears, this West Coast bull rider, holding it out of a Rafter G bull. My daddy was sitting up there thinking, this kid is making my bull look silly. Watch this. You don't have to spur him to win the money. He's going to win some money anyway. But watch this. Here's a kid that's first time to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. He's won a couple of checks. He rode a Frontier bull last night, won 3rd place. He won 1st tonight. You talk about all smiles. Now,
well,
he's digging getting to go down and talk to Katie Kaufman.
Let me tell you what I thought was cool tonight, too. That's a Rafter G bull, right? Guess who was in the stands tonight? The main Rafter G man. Not this one. The main one. Neil Gay was in the stands. He in here tonight, probably watch on TV. He's one of my heroes.
Oh,
there we go.
Thank you,
go
John.
Win.
He's at the hotel there having
Getting
the
that
buckle
buckle?
presentation.
Yeah.
You know,
I thought that was cool.
And
He
I
was here.
guarantee you he'll gripe because he'll say, damn, it's late. You know, how come they don't hurry up and start this thing?
So see what we have to look forward to, Dan?
Oh.
He's going to gripe more.
We don't have to wait very long for that, yeah. It was good to see your dad, Donnie. It was really good to see your dad. Donnie mentioned a little bit earlier the bareback riders, some of them moving pretty slow, and I put just Donnie...
Tim O'Connell came, you know, he's been helping somebody in the bull riding, and he came walking up, and I thought to myself, how in the hell is he going to pull somebody's rope? He can't even walk.
Hey, honestly, though, can you remember when we've seen so many bareback riders hit so hard? I mean, it's been a while since they bucked that many off.
We put together a little reel for you, Donnie, and so we'll just take a look at some of the guys, and it was hard on them tonight, and then we'll move from there. But Donnie, take a look here, starting with Stephen Dent.
All right, Stephen Dent's got a Frontier horse, and this is full baggage. Made a good ride, but you know what? In the bareback riding, even when it's good, it's bad. His hand doesn't come out until right there, gets a little extra propulsion, gets slammed down on the ground. And that's a guy that's been here 7 times, Jesse Davis. He's upside down. I mean, you know, you don't know whether the lights are on or if anybody's gone home or not. Watch this. Now, this horse, he stumbled a little bit, but a little of that was caused by Jesse. Now, trick and fancy bareback riding, they don't have that on the program, but when you got both legs on one side, you're doing a group vault, coming back, I mean, watch this. Mini Christmas, and then blow out. Hello, just lucky he doesn't get kicked with both back feet. But you know what? He does this on purpose every single night. Jesse Davis doing good. Down the bull riding. Aaron Pass, he goes down and he's kissing that little bull right in the mouth. You know, just having a great time doing a little mouth-to-mouth watching. They don't have to have horns to hurt you, folks. But look at those little piranhas, the bullfighters, the weather guard guys. They're right there. That's not a problem. Trey Benton, this could be a problem. He gets slammed. You can't try any harder than that. Dusty Tuckness knows that Trey's gonna get hooked, so he jumps in there, takes that shot. Watch this. He knows Trey's gonna get hooked. Oh no! Oh damn it! Turn that back on.
Easy, easy, breathe.
He's fired up.
Easy, Donnie, breathe.
What I held out, Donnie, everybody, we already have a text question.
Are you trying to tell me to hush?
No, I know better. There's a text question here that wants to know how J.W. Harris is doing, so we have that set aside, and we've got some really good slow motion of this. I just got a text from Dusty. He said J.W.'s fine. You went and talked to him. He's sore. He's stitched up and all that. But let's take a look at why, Donnie, and we'll take several looks at this.
Okay, well, J.W. looks like Frankenstein now. He's got some stitches, but I told him they did a good job. Now, watch this. He's going to drop down in the well. He's going to hang up. Now, this bull's going to get him out front. Turned upside down and hit him and knocked him out. He's out cold and laying there unprotected. This is a thank you, Jesus moment because the bullfighters get in there. They're looking at the bull, not seeing JW. I'm thinking somebody drag him out. Okay, watch this. Now, right here. Kaboom! That's with a horn. That's right there, and that's right above the eye. That's where they done, you know, the Betsy Ross thing here tonight. That didn't hurt much. Still had his hat on. Now, watch this. When he comes around, you see Dusty. He's right there, got the bull right by the horns. J-Dub is hung because he doesn't want to lose his bull rope unless, you know, everything is on the line. Bam. Now watch. Now I want you to watch his front feet. Boom.
Missed him.
There's a strawberry. There's a back foot. That missed him. Look at Dusty. He has got this bull like we've seen the steer wrestlers. Holding on to the bull. But J-Dub, I mean, he's out cold. Laying unprotected. I mean, this is the fun stuff right here. You know, this thrills the crowd. I mean, my daddy said, if you can't win anything, get under him and help me sell some tickets. So, but that right there, now that's dangerous. J-Dub, he got by it, no problem. He's going to be okay. He got about, I don't know, 12, 15 stitches in his eye. But you saw where that bull, his back feet, when J-Dub was laying there, he's got a knot the size of the end of this microphone, no hair on his, I mean, it skinned it off. The dew claw, the back foot, come right down by his head. I mean, so that's why I say thank you, Jesus moment, because if Ronnie Rosin can get killed, if Lane Frost can get killed, if J.W. Harris can get knocked out, folks, everybody's not cut out to be a professional bull rider, but at the National Finals Rodeo, you're seeing it all. These guys let it all hang out, but he's okay, and we're still having fun.
You bet.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I tried to talk a kid out of getting on tonight. Ty Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
He broke his arm last night.
Yep.
Now, not his riding arm, broke his free arm, both bones. They got him, you know, wrapped up in a cast, and he comes walking in the dressing room like this. And I said, you going to get on? And he said, yeah. I said, you thought this through? And he looked at me and he said, I'm not going to be a sugar tit. I'm getting on. And I said, it's not for everybody in the grandstands. I said, I'm talking about for you. You thought this through. I mean, I was serious as a heart attack. And he looked at me and he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I've said it over and over and over and over. If you're hurt, take time off, get well. Harry Tompkins. I said, if you're just sore, if you're just beat up, you go mount up Jim Shoulders. And he said, I'm going to get on. And so he's got his free hand, this one, his free arm. He rides left-handed. I said, make a fist. And he couldn't. I mean, he got about like that. And I said, you know, it's stupid to get on a bull if you can't move your free arm. I said, so move it. And he didn't. I said, you have to make up your mind to move your free arm. I said, if you get on knowing full well yourself that you cannot ride like you know how. You have no business getting on. You be stupid. You know, and I just met this kid this week, Ty Wallace. He's from Colorado. And he goes, well, I've thought about it. And I said, well, if you're going to get on, go back there and see that doctor and tell him to give you a shot in that thing. You know, you can't hurt it any worse. It's already broken. And I said, so make him dull the pain where you can whine and cry in the morning. And, you know, we're just visiting. And he got on. He made the best ride he's made all week long with a broke arm, you know, and I mean, I'm just jumping up and down on the stage back there on the back of the bucking chutes, you know, I mean, that thrilled me to no end. I mean, this kid had made up his mind, you know, real quiet, you know, so I'm not used to that, obviously, but I was so impressed, you know, and he came back and he goes, well, was I tough enough? And I said, yes, sir. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. I said, I've not seen, you know, a guy be that gutsy in many, many moons. And I said, I am impressed.
Unbelievable.
Ty Wallace. Y'all can cheer for him tomorrow. He's getting on again.
Yep. We have another question that came in here quickly. What is a sugar tit? No, that's not the question. That just ran through my mind. I didn't hear anything else you said after that.
Well, I didn't know what else to make up because you know what I almost said.
It could have been worse.
That's what I'm going to name our next dog. Let's take a look at this here. It says, how do they decide the order of the competitors in the rodeo, guys?
You know, it used to be always in the town events, the more you won, you went last all the time. Yes. But those, what'd you call them? Sugar tits got to griping about that about 10 years ago. And they got to whining because the guys that were winning always got to go last. Well, yeah, if you win more, you should go last. But anyway, they whined and cried and threw stuff and finally got whoever the powers to be to change it. So there's a rotation order now in the timed events. You can be winning every night, and still when your rotation comes up, you have to go first. And the unique thing to me is, when they first started this, I was rodeoing, there was my little crew, Fred, you know, Cody, Brent Lewis, all. It was the weirdest thing. The same guys won. It didn't matter if you went first or last, but everybody's happy now because that's what they do. They have a rotation order until the last night.
So the real answer to that question is politics.
That's what I was trying to get to in a nice way because evidently the other night I stepped on a few toes.
No.
Yeah, you know what I told them?
No, what?
Move your damn feet.
I'm with you, buddy. I'm backing you up all the way. You know, and they started the bull riding with J.W. Harris, and, you know, we got 3 or 4 guys that, you know, is 0 for 8.
He rode a bull and they get to go last or however far down, you know.
And that's not fair, but what you say, because you don't like to be first in the bull riding a lot because they're not riding a lot of bulls, and you just like to be able to kind of watch somebody. When somebody makes the whistle, makes a good ride, you know, somehow or another that makes you feel a little bit better mentally, and but the attitude that you take is, you know, if I'm going to have to go first, I'm going to win first. Yeah. You know, and that's what JW almost did. Yeah, you know.
We appreciate the question. Keep them coming up here. Let's get our first guest out here, and I am thrilled that she is here with us this evening. We've been watching her all week and riding well, and I said, Joe, let's see if we can get this young lady.
How could you miss her?
To come out. Yeah. Outside of her.
Yeah, first, she's pretty.
Pretty?
Yeah. Really pretty. And second, she dresses really cool.
How about it? Fallon Taylor is here this evening. Yes.
Come on out.
Well.
First of all, I told her on the text a while ago that I wasn't glad, but if Baby Flo doesn't slip, being last on the ground,
on the third barrel,
she wins the go around, and we don't see her tonight. But you know, we have this habit of people coming on here and winning the next go-around. And she said,
I'm rubbing on
the bad
Joe.
luck.
Darn the bad
now
luck.
y'all know why Joe's been spreading that.
Yeah. I'm
Get
going
her
to come
on
on
here.
every night. I don't
You
know, I haven't
what?
been here
But-
yet.
But it's working.
It is.
Fallon, we're so glad to have you.
Thank
here
you.
with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm stoked. This is my first time, so I'm excited.
We're glad to have you with us. And to say you add color to the world of rodeo is an understatement. I love it.
Thank you.
I was looking today. You are an...
Thank
Give it
y'all.
up. Let her have it one time. Yeah.
So let's talk about Dynasty Equine. And this lady is a corporation and business in among herself. Very impressive. Tell us about that and how it got started.
Thank you. You know, I took a lot of time off and retired in 1998 and went and did some modeling in New York and then went and did some acting in LA. And I came home and just started training horses for other people. I had no aspirations whatsoever to be back at the national finals. I just didn't really think I wanted to and ended up breaking my neck 5 years ago and thought, well, I'll just help kids, you know, pursue their dreams. And then my husband came along and said, what are you doing? Get your butt back on the road, and I think we've got some stock here you need to train. And I started jerking horses out of the pasture one by one, and Baby Flo was the last one I pulled out of the pasture, and he thought I'd lost my mind because I just pulled her out and cinched her up, and we ran barrels that day. So, you know, it's been a long time coming, but Dynasty Equine and all of my businesses, my clothing line and everything, it's pretty cool to see it influence this next generation of barrel racers coming up.
What, now, you can't just say I broke my neck 5 years ago and skip
Yeah,
over
I was
that.
going to say, detail that a little bit, would
Yeah,
you?
what-
Because
what's
people
that?
are like,
I
You've
cracked
been
my
riding
head.
bulls
It
or
didn't go
something.
bad. It didn't go well. I had a really, really terrible near fatal accident. I was just riding a horse, and we've all been there, you know. I was riding a horse, and he was really, really nice. Just loped him around, and everything was going good, and he was pretty fresh. And I thought, oh, I'll ride him through it because that's just what we do. Instead of stepping off and lunging him, of course, we just suck it up and go on. Well, I'm loping him around, and he kind of slips at the same time that he decides he's going to buck me off. And he was about 16, 3 hands tall. He's not a little guy. And it got Western. Wow. He was not just crow hopping around. I mean, he was snapping and kicking. He reared up and almost flipped over, and he broke all the bones on this side of my face. And then he cracked me again in the head and fractured my skull in 4 places. And at that point, I decided I'd like to get off. So I just picked a spot to land, which is a terrible idea. Don't ever do that. And I picked a spot to land, and when I did, he kicked my feet, and I went about 12 or 15 feet in the air, did an alley-oop, and landed straight down on my head and hit the ground paralyzed, which I was for 3 days. So I got hauled to the hospital. I had the same injury as Christopher Reeves or Superman, that's paraplegic or quadriplegic, and I see it all the time. Pop Warner kids and stuff that tackle with their head. You see them end up in a wheelchair and eating through a tube, and that was almost me. So I'm blessed to be here, and to say this in FR is going good. Just for me to be here, it's a blessing. So I'm stoked to be here.
That's awesome. You still got that horse?
I've never seen him since.
Donnie would like to have
I
you.
was wanting to see if I could get him to,
Sir,
pick
I
it
don't
right
know
up and make me
where-
look a little bit better. Like, I mean, he did pretty good.
Thank you. I don't know where he lives, but I don't own him.
Well, and now that leads us, Fallon, to the helmets, which I'm sure now this all ties together for us. And there's been a lot of talk about you and your helmets here this year. We've had questions. We had one come in tonight. Is Fallon getting fined? So tell us about the helmets and how that led to that, and it's a natural progression.
The helmets was not a plan. That didn't just if you need a helmet, you got to come get them through me, because I have bought Las Vegas out of helmets so that I have them to match every outfit, because of course we got to look good. So, I was challenged by the owners of Slick by Design that Michelle McLeod rides for, and they said, AQHA is changing their rules, 18 and under in all the speed events. They've got to compete in a helmet, and it would be really cool if you just throw one on for a round and, show the kids kind of what's going on and show them that it's cool. I'm a little disappointed I didn't do this right when I stepped back on a horse, because for me it's a lot more comfortable. I've got 4 screw holes in my head, and I've got some places in my head doesn't feel real good. So I put a helmet on, and I was like, well, this'll work. I like this. And the feedback's been unreal. There's been a lot of charities. I think we now are up to 6 charities stepping up Every time I compete in a helmet, they're donating money and helmets to great causes. So I'll be wearing them for the remainder of this national finals.
Very cool. And yes, give her a hand for that. I agree. And certainly this fellow you're sitting next to is the king of charities and doing things like that. Joe Beaver is. Joe, I mentioned to you earlier in Fallon, we've got your run from tonight.
Cool.
Racked
I
and
haven't
ready
seen it
for you
yet.
to take a look at.
Awesome.
Let's start with that.
She
Joe.
hadn't seen it, and I'm telling you, I said on the telecast when Baby Flo sucked the first barrel up. Watch this. I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
See, but kept running all around it. Now, right here, look. When she pushed off there, I said, day money.
Yeah.
Okay, third barrel, she's way down on the ground. See right there?
Ooh.
See, her butt slid completely around, and that's the foul I were talking about out in the back. She had to gather herself and take off again.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why you were so long.
It took us 3 steps just to catch back up. My first barrel, she's just insanely fast right there. I've got to be really sticky. Coming into the second, she spread her legs out coming into it. I didn't even see that. Going into the third, I dropped down. She just nearly spills me.
Right there,
oh,
too,
yeah.
see? And gathers up and runs an O.
And runs an O and shouldn't. I mean, that should be a 14.5 every day of the week. So I've got an incredible equine athlete under me. She's a testament to our training. I was prepared at 15th out to have not ideal conditions and for things to not quite go my way. In situations like that, if you can just keep the barrels up, it's great. Because right here, she falls out from underneath me, and I was ready to grab that barrel. It was bad.
On the back side of the right back leg, guys, it was completely behind her. And when she stood up, I thought if she doesn't run straight out, we're going to be all day. And when she jumped up, that little mare's not 14-1.
No, 2 maybe, yeah.
And when she jumped up and took off, you couldn't have lined a bead up and been any straighter to that clock in that alleyway.
She's done that probably 6 times this year, and I've won a lot of money that way. When she spreads out, she'll try for me every time. She's never once gotten me dirty. She'll get me close. She won't hit the ground.
Okay, so y'all had the luncheon, the women's luncheon today. You had the auction.
Yes.
Okay, so J-Dub, he wore the chaps last night that you had him wear.
I'm always big on subtlety, so I wanted to give J.W. Harris some really subtle chaps that not very many people would notice.
Well, in the tease on national television, I went, oh, and I just got word, and I saw them. I said, J.W. Harris has a wardrobe change coming at you. And I said, you may be referring to him from now on as the gay caballero. Well,
J.W. Taylor.
The PC police for CBS television, they called to, try to censor me, but I told them good luck, it's live.
Let's take a look now. This is from round number 4, a 13.85 run, and you guys can talk about
let's see
Fallon
that.
at work here.
Watch her leave the first barrel this night. Watch this. Watch her push away, people. Look how far she is from the barrel.
I tell you what, you're exactly right. This was the identical run she gave me tonight, minus a slip.
See her back
and she
right
still
leg?
even had trouble.
She did, and it's been doing it. And because I think when you're down weight, they turn it the opposite way.
Right.
Because most horses turn it, go to the right barrel first, so it's 2 lefts. She goes left and 2 rights, and it's rutted up on that side from horses leaving.
Absolutely.
I think it's an advantage at the first barrel.
Absolutely.
Disadvantage at the third barrel.
Absolutely. We're going to go to practice in the morning, and we're not going to change much, but I'm going to go in there and let her feel it. It seems like if I go to practice, every time they crack the doors, she gets her butt back underneath her and can kind of figure out that if she slows down, she's a little bit faster.
Right. And she's smart. You've run her everywhere. We see Fallon run her everywhere. When she turns right there, if she feels it hold, she keeps her head up and runs.
Yes.
When she doesn't, and there's been a few rounds she hadn't, her head will drop and she'll go to digging more.
Absolutely.
And I thought the last couple rounds, head's been up, butt's down. She feels comfortable.
She's been flying, and the craziest part about riding such a little horse, like tonight on the backside of the first barrel, I sat my foot down all the way around the barrel and was like, this is nuts. I mean, she's just drifting around. So it's pretty cool. I mean, every time she gets herself in trouble, she lets me just kind of ease her out of it. And thank God I got a horse that's healthy tonight, because after watching that, I mean, it could have been really bad.
You see, I knew you had no idea.
I had no idea.
We were talking about in the back, and she was like, yeah, it kind of felt like it. I thought, wait till you see this.
It knocked the air out of me when she dropped down, and I came out going, Dad, it didn't knock the air out of me. I don't know what happened, but something knocked the air out of me, and that shouldn't happen.
I saw it, yeah. It was very obvious.
Two things come to mind to me. One, I love having Joe and because the detail and the things that most people just watch that run and say,
Joe Beaver's married to a barrel racer and a darn good one, too.
Exactly right, and she's been out running barrels.
You know, this is the first year since 1999 they let me do the barrels.
Is it?
They cut me in 1999.
Controversial.
Little controversy there, talking about the ground. It wasn't supposed to. As Donnie Gay said, they said change and don't. Blame it on the girls or the horses. And I said, you want 15 women after your ass? You do it. And so,
Well, it's pretty heated in the back if you want to know.
I'm not about to let it happen. But
there's a question that
I saw that.
Even I want to know.
I saw that.
It's Dan.
For Fallon, how fluent are you in Navajo? Cassidy mentioned that you're learning the Navajo language.
Yes, Cassidy Dennison and I, we just love Cassidy. She's such a beautiful girl, and that's not always readily accepted amongst competitors. When you stick a pretty girl that wins a lot in the bunch, it's not always friendly. Not always a lot of friendly fire. So when she started coming on hot this summer, my husband and I, we just go pick her up. I mean, just wherever we went, we would just throw her in the truck with us and keep encouraging her. So they downloaded a Navajo app on my phone, and her dad is just so cool. He's got really cool stories, and they live on the reservation. And about the only thing I can really say is Yatehe Abenaha, which is good morning. And I'm pretty stoked about saying that because it's really, really hard. Well, the word for horse is Klee, which is really hard to say, and I'm saying it right, just in case you were wondering.
Well, and to her point of how hard it is to speak Navajo, that's who they used in World War II as the code talker.
And that's what Cassidy said.
Nobody could decipher that. So it's a big deal. I met Cassidy at the INFR.
I did a school on the res, Window Rock, about 6 years ago. Well, I take my right-hand man, Mike Arnold, with me, We get out there, and before they start, they stop and say a big prayer, So they're going through it fast, and, I mean, we don't have a clue what they're saying. And it takes about 5 minutes. I mean, they go through it, they're blessing everything, and before the school starts, and just as they get done, they holler something else, and Mike Arnold, he's over there by me, and he said, hey, I didn't understand anything but Jesus Christ and Joe Beaver. We might ought to leave.
Fallon, we cannot let you get away without talking fashion with us.
Let's do it.
This statement, but if you go to her website, and do go to her website, it was fascinating. They have outfits in there for you even, Donnie.
Yeah. We could put him in a leopard onesie, have him decked out for tomorrow night.
I tell you what, I'll buy it. Won't you, Dan? If he'll wear it, we'll Dan.
Please let me see Donnie Gay in a leopard onesie or some fringe. Please. Preach.
We'll get it, Craig. We can handle it.
I got J.W. Harrison tie-dye. Surely I can pull this off.
Oh, do you know what a leopard onesie is?
No.
It's a little bit smaller than a leopard twosie.
Yeah.
And it's, you might need a leopard one and a halfsie, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I went into this place one time and I got to lay on.
Let's don't do that one. So talk about this fashion statement because it is fabulous and it makes a difference. And has it just always been you, Fallon?
Thank you. Yeah, Joe and his wife know this is always
when
been.
She was this big.
Yeah.
Listen, do you remember getting your fringe hung in the carnival ride?
Yes.
At Kennewick?
Yes, I do.
I take her and my boy Brody was about close to your age, a little younger, but anyway. So it's during she's up that night. Well, they want to go to the carnival, so off we go. We go to the carnival. And it may have been Santa Maria. I might be wrong. It might have been Santa Maria. Off the carnival, she got this shirt on with this fringe because back then that was the deal.
No, this was Houston.
Was it Houston?
Yeah, it was Houston because I talked about it on national television.
I take them to the carnival, and they get on this carnival ride, that swing deal that goes around them chains, and her fringe gets hung in the chain. So they're running around there, everybody else kind of laid back, found sucked up against the chain, and they're going around. I'm like, what the hell's wrong? And I realize it, and all I think about is Shilton's going to kill me. Because if she survives, I'm not going to get her unhooked without putting time to run barrels over there.
Beauty is pain, Joe.
Oh.
Beauty is pain.
She's been that way her whole life, and I'm going to tell you what else she didn't mention about Cassidy Dennison. Let me tell you another thing that those ladies didn't like a lot of was a little bitty cute girl outrunning them and taking their national final spot. How old were you?
It didn't go well. I was 13, and they made a rule.
Yes.
I got my permit when I was 7 years old, and I won my card when I was 9. and that went over really well. I made a lot of friends early on.
That's why she hung out with us, because they didn't like her much.
I only had calf roper friends. But they made a rule that you have to be 14 to compete, and then they bumped it up to 16, and then bumped it up to 18. And I was really glad I was grandfathered in to be able to compete, because that was pretty rough. But yeah, I've been fringy and bright and tie-dye for a long, long time. And I always tell people, I'm not really out of the box. I mean, tradition said, and Jenna even knows, back in the day, you got a fine if you wore denim jeans. So
absolutely. I mean, I've seen barrel racers way back in the day wearing those shiny lame pants and
the polyester,
the whole 9 yards. But they changed all those rules, and I'm going, so they're gonna forget. I mean, because I can remember watching Ann Lewis was the world champion that didn't even go to the finals because she was killed in a car wreck.
Yep.
She was just 8 years old.
Yeah, she's really young. Got in a wreck on the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is cool to go, if you go to a high school rodeo somewhere now, especially at finals, but if you go and you see the girls, that they're more Fallon-ish. They're dressing up. They got you see them from a distance. They like that. And, that's part of selling rodeo. I mean, I'm sorry, but,
oh, yeah.
If you either got to be one way or another. You got to wear you either got to wear the fancy, cool, pretty stuff, or I guess you wear nothing, it'd be good too, but that ain't gonna happen.
That works for me.
I haven't gone that direction yet. I mean, I guess that's something to explore.
Well, but hopefully it kind of takes root and takes hold for more than one, because we got the guys, maybe they'll quit wearing those ball caps on backwards and sideways and tuck their shirt tail in.
Well, we want to sell tickets. We're not a greedy sport. It's a really cool traditional sport, and if we can cross over and get some of those the other people that are in maybe watching some X Games stuff. This is a cool sport. I mean, there's nothing cooler than watching J.W. Harris underneath the bull. I mean, it's not fun to watch somebody get hurt, but this is the real deal. I mean, this is really cool. I can't sing, I can't dance, but I can dress up for you, put on a horse show, give you a horse race, and give you something to stand on your feet and cheer about. And that's really, really neat. And that's going to give the audience something to look forward to. If they're thinking, my gosh, what's coming next? You can fill the stands all the time. And I don't do it just at the national finals. A lot of the girls, they pulled out some fringe and stuff for here. I'm everywhere.
Rodeos. It's when it's showtime, you show up.
This is my career, and I want to be a professional.
And okay, we're round number 8. We got 2 rounds left, and I'm just telling you that it's a 3-girl race. But Fallon is in good a shape as she's ever been to win a world championship. It'd be the first one. It'd be something we're shooting at again. And it would be really cool because Baby Flo came from right there at home.
Absolutely.
All your old stud, your horse, your foundation, your breeding and stuff. And Mom and Dad would just think that would be awfully cool, huh?
Oh, this would be the coolest thing. To even be in contention after learning how to walk again and having the worst finals you could ever have last year and going home, and I've told everybody we've been repainting our Tiger because they say Tigers can't change their stripes. We put a new paint job on her and come in here and we've been giving them hell. I mean, we have really had an amazing finals. I think I've won 87,000 at this point. It's not been too shabby. So
if it ends tonight, I mean, if it's over today,
if it ended right
great
now,
year.
yeah, it's amazing. I feel like we've already won. We've made a big splash for the sport. I think we've got a lot of new fans watching CBS and checking this thing out, and made a lot of awareness for kids and safety. I've met so many people that have been really inspired by this whole journey, and in the end, I'm going to fight for that buckle, and if they end up giving it to me, great. If I end up being the reserve world champion, great, because we've already won. So I feel good.
You have won because you lay it out there on the table and don't hold anything back, and that's the most important thing.
And I'm tough. They don't really want me in this position. So
I know that. I'm the one trying to get you out of that damn swing that night.
I like this. This is like Christmas morning for tomorrow.
Would ride anything.
Oh, yeah.
Not scared of nothing. They would go up to the line, and you're probably used to this, Donnie, but they'd go up to the line and go on their tiptoes so they could ride rides that the grown people wouldn't even ride. So to break your neck, be out, come back, get back, not only to walk again, ride again, and then get the first year you crack her out, you're 1 out.
Right.
Then you come back and you make it finals, and it's not such a good finals or whatever.
Oh, it was
just wasn't so good. And now you come back and rebound with a great year. This is a comeback champion story of a champion girl right here.
We're honored to have you here.
I'm excited to bring it home.
Fallon Taylor, pay her off, please. Give her a round of applause.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's kind of fun, wasn't it?
Class act.
Oh, great.
And has been since she was 7 years old,
Yeah.
honestly.
Just absolutely great. Great for the, rodeo is the original X Games. These other guys, it's just pretending stuff up here. Donnie, we've got a question real quickly. Let's do that. Do you want to take that?
Why is California last in the grand entry?
I have no idea. Do you?
They know that's where Nancy Pelosi's from.
Boy,
Don't
I don't
encourage
know.
it.
boy, that won't cause any problems, will it,
Oh
huh?
my gosh.
Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't encourage him. We'll get started here.
Please don't feed the animal.
Awesome to have Fallon Taylor out here. Let's move along to our next guest here. And I'm thrilled to have this young guy with us. This young guy is a saddle bronc rider extraordinaire. I think this is his third trip to the National Finals Rodeo. He's in the movie business now, but would you welcome, please, for his first time with us, Cole Elshire is here this evening. Yes.
Come on, Cole.
Come on, let's change some luck. Let's just turn this around.
Now there's the guy. I mean, I know that it may cause talk, but you need to rub on
Hey,
Joe.
I'm telling you right here, baby, on that shoulder. I gave that Kyle Irwin. He's burning my phone up. Whether I'm lucky or not, it don't matter what he thinks it is.
And boy, there's one other person besides Cole that hopes that works, and that's me, because I have Cole
Fantasy.
on my fantasy team.
Nothing like that pressure, is there, Cole, when you walk in here?
I'm trying my best for Donnie just to do what I can.
Yeah,
I knew it.
yeah. Just please, Donnie. We ain't worried about 20,000 a night, are we?
We're glad to have you with us, Cole. First time that you've been with us here on the show. This is your third time to the National Finals Rodeo, and as Joe said, we're going to change your luck and start things over for you here this evening. You went to college in Gillette, Wyoming, South Dakota. Faith, South Dakota is where Cole is from, and
Do you know Tom Miller?
Yeah, we go to a lot of brandings together.
Well, he's from Faith, South Dakota, 1977 or 8 world champion, saddle bronc rider. So there's probably good reason why you're here again.
Cole, let's talk about this first before we take a look at your work. Everybody's been talking about this film that's being made. You're going to be playing Casey Tibbs in this film. Give us the history on that and where's it at right now?
Yeah, the movie's called Floating Horses. It's going to be a documentary about Casey Tibbs, and they're actually here this weekend doing a bunch of interviews. Some of Billy Bauer, Charlie Daniels, others, and so in May I get to start doing my part of the filming, and we'll get on some bucking horses and do a lot of stuff in Fort Pierre and try to portray Casey's life.
Okay, I've got a suggestion for you. Now, it may change the rating on the documentary. It may go to X, but if you and that producer will go talk to my daddy, he can tell you some first-hand Casey Tibbs stories, and I'll promise you they're worth listening to.
I'd love to hear them. I would love to hear them. How did it come about? Did they come to you, Cole? How'd this happen?
Yeah, Justin Kohler is the guy producing the film, and he's from South Dakota. And he started talking to people, and somebody mentioned my name and said, I think this is a guy for you. So I was at home feeding cows, and he called me on the phone and said, hey, are you interested in doing something like that? And we visited for a couple hours and decided that it'd work for both of us.
Very exciting. Keep us posted how that's going. Let's talk about your riding in this National Finals Rodeo first, and we'll do this quick. Let's talk about tonight. Let's take a look at tonight, and then we'll go back in time a little bit, a couple of rounds. But let's take a look. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Cole. So let's see
Tell
what
them
happens.
what the horse is and what's going through your mind.
I got on the Kessler Bronc. I had never seen the horse before, but everybody said he was pretty nice. And I tried to hold my feet for 2 jumps like you're supposed to, and I think after that I just forgot to lift on my rein because as soon as that my right foot hung in his neck, I just kind of rolled right off. So.
That's not what you want to happen, but not the week that you planned. You were riding so good. You came to a rodeo that we produced in Pasadena, Texas, and won first place, and you know, you just looked like you were riding so good. And so when I'm picking my fantasy team, I know that's not any concern of yours at the moment, but you know, I'm thinking, you know, you have a certain amount of money to get, and I looked on there and I thought, you know what? I remembered you riding there, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's a sleeper. Oh, you know, we're going to win a couple of go-rounds. Well, now we're kind of down to it. You picked up a little money, but we still could win 2 go-rounds. I mean,
Yeah,
can't we?
There's still 2 go-arounds left, so we'll
I
try to
agree.
get them
Cole, let's
too.
take a look at you. This is day 3. This is on Fire Lane. This is an 83.5 point ride and a heck of a flying dismount on this deal. Talk about it.
Oh, this horse is really pumps his head, and you have to really lift hard. And so this day I actually did lift on my rein, and everything went good.
You know, did you ever watch films of guys like Bobby Brown and Monty Henson doing the flying dismount, or is that just what y'all do in South Dakota? Because you guys, you know, and to live up there in the wintertime, I know you're tough and maybe a little crazy, but, you know, they got 2 guys that they're paying a lot of money to come pick you up, you know, like valet, and you do that, you know.
Well, I started traveling with my cousins, Ryan and JJ, and they're the ones that taught me how to ride broncs. And I seen them jump off, and I thought, man, that looks cool. And so I thought, well, shoot, they're nothing special. They're just my cousins, so if they can do it, I can do it. And so ever since then, I've been jumping off.
You could have jumped in the first row right there. You're that high.
Well, I've been on this horse before, and I jumped off, and I landed on my feet, but I knew it was a little hairy, so getting on him that day, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make it to the pick-up man, but
You know, that's just a wonderful bronc ride that you made. You know, and the get off, you know, jumping off, the why you do that, you know, that would be the answer would be the same reason that the guy, you know, turns the backflips on the motorcycles and the bicycles and the skateboards. I mean, that's just, they hadn't had enough birthdays yet.
Cole, you mentioned JJ, his cousin JJ Elshire. There's a lot of rodeo and ranching history. Just tell us that briefly, your background.
Yeah, I'm a 4th-generation rancher, and my older cousins, JJ and Ryan, JJ went to the finals here 4 times, won the average 1 time, and so I grew up watching them. My dad picked up for them while they started in high school, and we just kind of been helping each other ever since.
And whenever you get to winning in the bronc riding, does that get you off the haystacking duty?
Well, like this year, went down to Houston, rode down there, and made the semifinals. So I had to fly home and night cab for 4 nights because we were calving heifers, and then fly back down there because give mom and dad a break. So we stayed pretty busy.
It doesn't help at all, does it?
Night calve a bunch of heifers. Yeah.
You had a good year.
You know, some people still think, you know, that they just go to the grocery store to buy the meat. So, yeah.
We are glad that you came here to be with us. As Donnie mentioned, there are 2 nights left, and especially these guys, are expecting big things out of this young man. And please keep us posted.
Do you know what you've drawn for tomorrow?
I got one of Calgary's horses, who's a big, strong horse, and should come out and button hook back around there and stay close to buck and shoot, so it should be good.
Something that you can give yourself an opportunity, and that's all these guys ever want. And I can tell you, coming to the National Finals Rodeo, no matter what event you're in, whether it's bronc riding, bull riding, barrel racing, you know, the idea is to win, and just because you're here doesn't mean you're going to. You're going to have to make her happen, and we're pulling for you.
We are pulling for him.
Thank
Cole
you.
Elshire, give him a hand if you would, please.
That's why they call it the classic event of rodeo right there. I mean, it doesn't get any prettier than that.
Okay, let's take care of a little business here, Donnie. We've got great bull rider, Ricky Bolin, is here tonight. If you'll introduce him and his group over here. There's Ricky right over there.
Ricky,
Yes.
won't you and Annie stand up? They're one of our sponsors here for the National Finals tonight. Without them and other people, Ricky Bolin, Annie, they're with Resist All Hats, and Ricky Bolin, one of my best friends, and when he got out of high school, when he was just a puppy dog, he was rodeoing, traveling with me in the airplane. 4-time national finalist in the bull riding, and bull rider extraordinaire, good friend of mine. And I just want to say thank you for the sponsorship, but thank you for coming and being a part and
Good to see you,
helping.
Rick.
everybody at National Finals
You
tonight.
bet.
Thank you.
Bet. I'm going to do this with our last guest, and I'm going to bring them all out together. I'm going to have Bob Tallman and Boyd Paul Hamus come out with us as well. And this lady, because Donnie's mentioning sponsors, the Rodeo Historical Society is a huge sponsor of ours here today. The president, Christy Camarillo, is here with us. We're going to bring Christy out, and because of the history of all of that, I'm going to bring Bob and Boyd out at the same time. Joe's got a lot to say about it as well. Let's welcome the lovely lady first, and then the two hairy-legged boys will come out. Let's welcome Christy Camarillo first. Christy, come on out
Christy.
here. Welcome, sweetheart.
And if any of you swing a rope, you know about her
Camarillo.
last name.
Have a seat right over here, Christy, right there next to the table. So
We're
we
going
can
to
see
hem
you.
you up. You can't get away.
Bob and Boyd, come on out here with us, if you will, and let's talk about the Rodeo Historical Society. If you, yeah, give these guys a hand, if you would, please. Bob Tallman, Boyd Paul Hamus. Boyd, come on. Christy, let's start off about everybody sit down before the music stops or you lose your chair on that deal. Christy, let's talk about this. The National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, the work that they do, they're preserving the history of American rodeo. All of these guys have been there. It was the original Hall of Fame and the one that Donnie still takes the most pride
That's
in.
the most. I do take the most pride in being inducted into that, because that's the recollection and the memories that I had that stoked my fires for the National Finals Rodeo, which was in Oklahoma City at the same time, and that's where Jim Shoulders and Casey Tibbs and Ike Rude, and I mean, you know, we're talking freaking cowboys, and they got them.
And Christy, your family, gosh, you talk about rodeo in California and ropes and the Camarillos. Tell us about the museum and the society and their mission and their goal.
Well, first of all, I feel pretty honored sitting next to two Hall of Fame inductees. Donnie, you were inducted a few years ago, and our 2014 Ben Johnson Award winner right
Joe
here.
Beaver, right
Joe
there.
Beaver.
Yep.
So, so the Cowboy Museum, normally known as the Rodeo Hall of Fame, is part of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. We have our president here today. I'd like to introduce him,
Sure.
a new president of the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Dr. Stephen Carr is in the audience, I believe.
Wave to us, Stephen. Right here he is.
Right here. Round of applause for these, because
It's good to have you with us here tonight.
Yes, that's
once
right.
you figure out what they do, you will appreciate it even more.
Right. Want to welcome. We also have some other board members here tonight. And you mentioned Ricky Boland. You know, Ricky Boland was also sat on the board of directors for the Rodeo Hall of Fame. So, Ricky, glad you're here tonight, and thanks for your sponsorship as well. But yes, we're preserving the history and promoting the legacy of our rodeo champions. And a membership, and I think we did pass out some. The Catch Pin is a publication of the National Cowboy of the Rodeo Historical Society, as well as a membership form. If you love rodeo and you want to share the stories, become a member. It's $35 annually, and it helps promote the legacy.
And if you get a chance, tell them your website, Christy. I was on it today. It is fascinating. The things that they do.
LoveRodeo.org. LoveRodeo.org.
That's pretty. That's even easy for me.
Yep.
So if you love rodeo, it's easy
On the
to
ladies'
remember.
side of it is the Tad Lucas Award, which our friend Pam Minnick has won before. Sherry Servey, the recipient of that in 2014.
Right.
Joe, what he won is the Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Tell us about your experience in that award for you, Joe.
Well, Sherry and I were talking about this the day at the WPRA banquet, and you know, I think that's the pinnacle to be, you know, put in that hall over there, because that hall, like Donnie said, is the original, and it's a Cowboy Hall of Fame. But my deal was kind of unique this year because I've done a lot in the arena, and I've got a lot of the rewards for it, and I'm in the Rodeo Hall of Fame and the Texas Cowboy Hall of Fame and all of that. But it's the Ben Johnson to me. Ben Johnson was a guy in the arena one way and out another. He was an actor. He was he had benefit ropings back when nobody else ever did. The first time I ever heard of a benefit was a Ben Johnson celebrity roping. And he did things for people and causes outside the arena. And when they called me, with that award, I was like, you know what? That one's kind of special. Because in the arena, I've done what I've done and everybody knows it. But outside the arena, sometimes you don't really do it for all the acknowledgement and all the reap the rewards. You do it because you care. It's like Fallon doing her deal. You do it because you care. And then when somebody finds out and you recognize, and you're even mentioned in the same breath as Ben Johnson, you know, that's the icing on the cake for me. I'm done now. I'm good.
Very cool. Well said, Joe. Well said. And I want to say, I mentioned it, Christy, when you came out, huge sponsors and supporters of what we do here, and we appreciate it so very
Thank you
much.
all
And
very much.
I want
Proud
you
to
to
be a sponsor.
just stay with us right here, because we're going to talk a little rodeo, and you're certainly no stranger to that. So I just want to, Boyd, I want to start over there with you. This rodeo tonight, it is getting so exciting. And what changed and what has tell me?
Man, I'm telling you, 2 rounds left, and you think about, they start. Really, if you think about it, when September 30th ends our season, they go to those county fair rodeos, Fort Bend County, Austin County. They go to, these little bitty county fairs and rodeos, and the season starts. And then the big rodeos come up in the winter months, Denver, Fort Worth, San Antonio. And then they hit the trail once Reno gets here, and that's their summer run. And let me tell you something, I can't imagine being a Joe Beaver or a Don Gay. I go to 1 rodeo a week, and it taxes the guts out of me. 1 rodeo a week, and they're going to 5 at the same time I went to that 1. But then it all comes down to this.
2 rounds.
2 rounds, and really things, if anything, things got tighter or more players moved in. I mean,
this was a huge night for Trevor
more
Brazil.
players
For
moved
Trevor
in than
Brazil,
out.
I thought, tonight.
Well, look, and that was the other thing I was thinking of when I was just walking down the alley down here. It's kind of funny how we're 37 or 38, right? But winners find a way to win. Yep. And tonight he took 2 victory laps. And I've said it a couple times when he's back in the box. He is not here for money. He's won plenty. That man's here to win championships. And it's going to be an uphill battle to beat Tough and an uphill battle to beat Jade and Clay, okay? But the guy made 2 moves tonight that put him in a place where it's still possible. He's going to need some help. He's going to need Jade and Clay or Tough to stub their toe. But at the same time, if they do, he's ready to take advantage. You look at the barrel racing with Fallon and Lisa, and you pay it out, and Fallon wins it by 2,500. You pay out the
Let's
average.
pay it off. Let's call it good. Let's just finish.
One thing about Fallon, you can say this. If she does become the world champion, she will remind me of Joe and Donnie and Larry Mahan. She will be a world champion for life. She won't be a world champion that you knew that year and forget. She will be a constant contributor to our industry just because she is charismatic, and she's got her own brand, and she don't care if you don't like her. Matter of fact, there's a part of her that kind of likes the fact that you don't,
If they're cussing you, that just means you're doing good.
Well, I learned from Bobby T. When I first got started, as a rodeo announcer, you want everybody to like you. You want everybody to like you, then you figure out not everybody's gonna. And Tallman said to me one time, I'll never forget, he goes, don't matter if they're talking good about you, kid, or if they're talking bad about you, as long as they're talking about you. Well, they're gonna talk about Fallon. They're gonna talk about Fallon, good or bad, for a long time. But the bronc riding, Spencer
I
Wright.
love that, yeah.
Spencer Wright comes in 14th.
Yes.
And has it's $7,000.
Okay, I said that I thought that with the go-round win that Heath actually moved ahead just in money, not figuring in
Heath
average.
is number 1 in the world. Heath is number 1 in the world. Great
I was
riding.
right for once.
Great riding tonight. That Hell's Fire hostage really bucked, and he got along with her good. But he went from 9th to 8th in the average, so that's 5th. Where Court is winning 2nd, I believe, if I were 2nd or 1st in the average, and that's either worth 40 if it's 2nd or 49, and that's enough to. If you pay it out tonight, Court's the champion, but the gap shrunk between. It's not so much Heath really. Heath can go out and win 2 more rounds and get another 38,000, but that 40, that 49 that Spencer's winning is the problem for Court if he doesn't continue to place. Court's at the spot where he just can't get to the whistle.
You can't safety up. You gotta.
right,
Yeah.
right.
That's what makes it fun.
Let me say this. I want to say it to Bob. I miss you so much announcing this rodeo, Bob.
Doesn't
Tallman.
everybody?
I miss you so much doing
This
this. And
was
I know
prepared.
it's your choice and all that. But what I want to say is when it's to this point, we're down to. Do you not miss being out there? And be honest with me.
Well, here's what
Oh my God, we're gonna be here till 3 in the morning.
Oh, hey, old habits are hard to break, aren't they, Bobby T? You got them work, don't you? You got the sheets work.
He's got those markers, different colors, don't he? Huh?
He's got highlighters looking everywhere.
I still do the homework every night and every morning. And
they're not paying you.
Yeah, there's a guy paying me good.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Gives me life to be here. Boyd and I will never be separated by the attachment that we built here. Yep. And, you know, you got choices. My favorite story. You got choices in life. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And I was thinking about it big time when you're talking about the little fall rodeos that everybody goes to. And after the season's over, they get a little jump on everybody. If you look at the PRCA standings, there's some people got $7,000, $10,000, $12,000 won. That's a big deal. That's a half a round, be a quarter of a round next year. But you got that much jump on somebody, you got something. The other thing he said is where it goes when we're in the wintertime at Denver, Fort Worth, Houston, but we're there. And we still go through the same regimentation. We still do the same things every day. And I think probably 10 years from now, if I can get up to get these papers from Boyd or somebody, and Brooks will bring them to me, I'm going to do my homework. Reason is that I've been a fan for 50 years. Okay, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a champion. First, I wanted to be Dean Oliver, then I wanted to be Jim Bob Altizer, then I wanted to be Larry Mahan. By the way, Mahan's who taught me that deal, but Mahan said it this way: don't matter what they're talking to you about, kid, or what they're talking about you, as long as they print your name right and spell it right in the paper, he said, you're in the win. Well, then you get to the summer run in Oakdale, California, Clovis, Red Bluff, Redding. Reno Rodeo's sitting over there tonight, and the current president, Larry Stacy, past president, the cow boss himself, Ray Callahan, and his wife, Amy. When you get, there's pinnacle points. When you get done with our big rodeos in Texas, San Angelo is kind of a break. Then we go to the little rodeos, not little, but they're big ones in California. When you get to Reno, you're either wired and fired, and when Reno is over, you've got one shot. And it's not the 4th of July, it's Cheyenne. And this is how they look at it. The swing through the 4th of July either sets you up for Cheyenne. And if you aren't in the mode and in the mood by the dollars, and healthy and your horses are good, at the end of Cheyenne, you can kiss goodbye. Because then you're trying to play catch-up. And nobody wins when you're trying to play catch-up. You don't rope good, you don't ride good when you got to ride for the money.
Yeah, let me just add something, though, to what you just said. You know, you're really, it was very deft of you to change the subject of the season.
Thank you.
Rather than how empty that room feels without your baritone in it, okay?
Yes, thank you.
So, the only thing, and this is no disrespect, watch me, I get along fabulously with both Wayne and Randy, and I think they do an outstanding job. However, there is only one Elvis. There's lots of rock and roll singers, and they play good music, and I like a lot of their music, okay, but there's only one Elvis. And when you get to this juncture in the rodeo, and you said it, Bobby T, and this is the difference, buddy, this is the difference. You are a fan, you're not just a rodeo announcer, so you don't just announce what's happening, sir. You sell it, okay? You make a believer out of every person that's there. And you have no favorites, because you love them all just like we all do, but you have a way, your voice and your intensity and your excitement carries the moment in a way I dream someday I might be able to. And there's only one Elvis, there's only one Vince Lombardi, you are one of the most unique things that has ever happened to the sport of professional rodeo. I understand why you chose not to put your name in the hat to apply, but that doesn't make me miss the sound of your voice in that room, because when it's not in there, whether I'm singing the song for somebody or Wayne's singing the song or Randy, none of us can sing the song the way Elvis can.
Well,
and we miss you. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to say bless you, thank you, and I love him dearly. Have, will, and die with that. But the thing, this rodeo is so much different. It's not the money, and now next year it's going to be the bigger thing. This rodeo sets the pace for people's lives, for fans, okay? There are people that have their expendable income for Christmas and come to the NFR in Las Vegas because of what we offer as a community, what Nevada provides through Las Vegas events, And they come here. I know there's been kids conceived here, and there's probably been somebody die at home while you were here. But you come here as a dedicated audience. I've never said rodeo's a sport. I always say it's a lifestyle. And because of the lifestyle that we're blessed to have, that you all want to have, we all are a family to get along. Now, when you get in the trenches with these two guys competing, wanting to be a part of your lifestyle, and we get a chance to sell it, the cake's already baked, okay? We put the frosting on it, and how we put the swirls in it, and then throw it out to you, and you either take it or you don't. And Boyd and I promise you this, we'll get on your ass if you ain't going with us in the way we want it to go, because we have a set pace and a way, and if you don't respond, it's deafening to our egos. It's deafening to our heart.
The way y'all sell it, and it really a pretty good segue back over, to Christy Camarillo and the group in Oklahoma. You take what's been sold and you preserve it and put it to where future generations can be able to go and share it and look at it, and we all think it's pretty special, and we certainly thank you.
Quite a package.
The day that I got to walk to that podium in Oklahoma City, the Ben Johnson deal, from John Wayne to Jesus, okay? They're on the walls. And to walk down through, and that was the day John Justin and Jim Shoulders both came in a wheelchair, and I went with the entourage, pushing one or the other, and they were whacking each other, going down through there in the wheelchairs. If you've never been there, you need to go, and here's why. Do not be in a hurry. Wear comfortable shoes. Take a bottle of water now, and they'll provide it for you. You need to go and feel what you feel. Don't listen to somebody else. Go there and look at what you see on the walls. Look at the bronzes and the trophies, and become a member. And here's why. All I ever wanted to be was a cowboy, okay? Well, I didn't win any world championships, but I got 17 saddles. Being a rodeo announcer, Boyd's got them too. Wayne Brooks has got them. Randy Corley's got them. Here's the deal. You get one shot in life to be a winner. And you gotta, where's your heart taking? We want to be a winner as a cowboy? Well, you can be all kinds of winners as a cowboy. You can only be one kind of winner 8 times as a bull rider, many times as an all-around champion. We've got all the awards that we need. We don't need any more. But if you want to be a winner, go there and just look. Listen to what other people say when they look at your stuff or your friend's stuff or a great champion stuff. And then look at the artifacts that are in there. This will give you a character that'll... I remember when I got my RCA card, okay? I roped better, I thought better, I tried harder, and it wasn't about money back in the early 70s. It wasn't about money, it was about existing. In the Mission Bell Hotel, in the hamburgers we ate, we didn't have the money to pay for. But you know what we were doing it? We were doing it as a family. And when you were by yourself, you were never alone. And if you got Jesus Christ to go with you, cha-ching, you win twice.
Doesn't get any better than that. Bob Tallman. I want to thank
Bob.
all of these guys. I'm so glad you were here tonight. I hope you feel the same way. Boyd Paul Hamus, Joe Beaver, Christy Camarillo, Bob Tallman, Donnie Gay, thank you for joining us here on National Finals tonight. Let me tell you this, we're going to give away a lot of prizes, and we'll do that as soon as we say goodbye to our folks out here with our great crew, and we appreciate you being here with us. Please stay with us. We'll give away some prizes right after that. Thank you for coming to National Finals tonight. Thank you.
That was great.
Heading down the highway looking for the rodeo sign.
Thank you for watching and attending the show. We hope you enjoyed this presentation of National Finals Tonight at the Gold Coast, where all the Cowboys go after the rodeo. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been a presentation of Boyd Gaming, riding for the brand. fun isn't over yet. We invite you to head upstairs for Gary LaFew's legendary Bucking Ball. Live music and dancing with Las Vegas favorite, the Tony Marcus Band. Beer and drink specials, and best of all, no cover charge. We're gonna dance and party till the cows come home at the Bucking Ball.
Got a rodeo. Got a rodeo.